All right, today we're jumping into one of Richmond Hill's most recognized and, frankly, most stable neighborhoods, Bayview Hill. If you're someone who's looking for a community that just screams long-term value, well, you're definitely in the right place.
You know, this quote from our source material just nails it. There's a certain quiet confidence about Bayview Hill, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack. It's the kind of place that really doesn't need a long, drawn-out introduction to make its point.
So what is that first impression all about? Honestly, it boils down to one thing: a feeling of permanence. This is not a transitional area, not by a long shot. It's a place where people put down roots, and you feel that from the second you drive in.
You feel it right away in the architecture. The perfect word for it is substantial. I mean, these homes have a real presence. They weren't just thrown up to be temporary. They were designed from day one with a sense of scale and significance.
And the second word that comes to mind, mature. You see it everywhere. The wide streets, the established gardens, and these huge full trees that line the properties. This is no new build subdivision. It's a community that has really grown into its own skin over the years.
And that all brings us right back to permanent. See, buyers here aren't usually looking for their first starter home. No, they're making a serious, long-term decision for their family. They're seeking space, stability, and a place they can truly settle into for years to come.
Okay, let's get down to the fundamentals. Geographically, Bayview Hill is just perfectly situated between Bayview and Leslie with amazing access to the 404, the 407, and the GO station. But check out that point on topography. That slight elevation gives the whole community this feeling of openness and provides these views you just don't find in most parts of the GTA. It's a subtle but huge feature.
So we get what the neighborhood feels like, but what's really driving its lasting appeal? Well, it pretty much comes down to two powerhouse factors: incredible schools and the rock-solid stability they create.
For so many potential buyers, their entire search starts with this one single question. And believe me, it's a big one. What is the number one reason that makes families specifically zero in on this one part of Richmond Hill?
And here it is. The answer is Bayview Secondary School. It's always, and I mean always, ranked as one of Ontario's top public high schools, and its famous International Baccalaureate program is a massive, massive draw. This isn't just a school, it's a powerful anchor for property values and for long-term demand.
This chart here breaks down exactly who's buying in Bayview Hill. Of course, you've got your school-driven families. Then there are the move-up buyers who need more space, and professionals who really value their privacy. But you see the common thread, right? It's always this focus on stability and education, and it's all backed by a really strong financial footing. Okay, let's shift our focus a bit. Let's talk about the homes themselves and the pretty unique lifestyle that comes with living in a community that's all about space and substance.
The homes here are almost all large, detached properties built mostly from the late 80s to the early 2000s. Just picture it. 4 or 5 bedrooms, traditional family layouts with big, formal rooms, generous lots, and of course, those double or even triple car garages. It's really that classic, substantial family living.
Now, when you start looking to buy here, you'll generally find two kinds of properties. On one side, you have homes in their original condition, which is a fantastic chance to get in, customize, and add a ton of value. On the other side, you've got these fully renovated properties that are just move-in ready luxury. It really just comes down to which path makes more sense for you and your goals.
You know, all of this contributes to what we call a low turnover neighborhood. So what does that actually mean in real life? It means families who move here tend to stay for a long time. This creates this incredibly calm, quiet atmosphere. The streets aren't used as cut-throughs. The traffic is almost entirely residents. And that just adds to the feeling of a peaceful, self-contained community.
Okay, so you're sold. You've decided Bayview Hill is the place for you. But hold on. Buying here requires a really strategic eye, because not every single property is going to perform the same way down the road. This checklist? It's absolutely crucial. A home's value here is about so much more than just square footage. You have to verify the exact school boundaries. Sometimes one side of the street is in and the other is out. You have to look at the lot's orientation, how close it is to main roads, the quality of any renos, and even the basement layout. These tiny micro-location details are what will make or break its future resale value. Now, trying to navigate all those details we just talked about, that takes some deep, deep local knowledge. And this is where having an expert guide becomes absolutely essential if you want to make a truly smart decision in a market this specific.
So the big question becomes, who can give you that kind of street-by-street insight?
Well, the source material for this explainer points to an expert who has a profound understanding of these micro-market dynamics, Kirby Chan.
And this chart just gives you a glimpse of that deep local expertise. We're talking consistent recognition, from being the #1 individual producer in Ontario for his brokerage to multiple Community Choice Awards year after year in Richmond Hill, Markham, and Thornhill. That reflects a long-term trust that's been built on proven results right here in this specific area.
This final quote really ties our entire explainer together, doesn't it? Bayview Hill isn't just another neighborhood in the city. It really operates on its own set of rules, driven by schools, space, and a type of buyer who is laser-focused on permanence.
So, we'll leave you with this question to think about. As you consider all your options, what does long-term stability truly mean for your family? Because answering that is really the first step to knowing if a community like Bayview Hill is the right fit for your future.